MSNBC anchor and anchor of Nightly News Saturday, my friend José Díaz-Balart. He's been covering Title 42 all day from the El Paso, Texas border. And Geoff Bennett, co-anchor of PBS NewsHour and MSNBC political contributor, and El Paso city manager, Tommy Gonzalez. Jose, first, I want to thank you. I know you have been out there on the ground since early this morning. You've been talking to people crossing into the United States. What are they telling you?
Stephanie Rule, it's an honor to be with you. And I've got to tell you that the people that you encounter in El Paso and throughout the border areas in our country, they are people who have said that they are willing to do anything and everything to try and reach the American dream, try to have the opportunity to ask for asylum in the United States. These are men, women, and children. This is not a wave or a surge. These are men, women, and children who have made the most difficult, dangerous, and oftentimes deadly trek to leave their country and try to reach the United States of America. And I spoke with so many people, Steph, these last couple of days, but I want to introduce you to Rachel. She came to the United States with her husband, Werne, their daughter, Reinelis, and their granddaughter, Mariani, who is a year and 8 months of age. And one of the questions that I asked them was, it took them a month to leave Venezuela and get to the United States. And I asked them, why'd you do this?
Why leave Venezuela? ¿Por qué? Why leave Venezuela? The government is
lo que él diga.
Whatever he says goes.
O sea, no cuenta.
There's people don't matter. If you try and have some justice, that doesn't count. They just threaten you. The president there is the only voice there. And you can't survive with the money one makes. Even to have food, 1 month of work is enough for a little bit of sugar and a little bit of rice. That's what it's for. A Venezuelan salary is to buy rice and flour.
You know, Stephanie, just to think about this, in Venezuela alone, the country with the largest oil reserves on the planet, just in the last 8 years, 7 million people have left that country. And we add the realities of Cuba, 64 years dictatorship. Haiti, a country where today there is no essentially functioning government. Nicaragua, that's had a dictatorship since 1979, and the Sandinistas continue to create havoc in that country, and so on and so forth. It's a reality that people say they are willing to die because to stay in their countries, they are essentially condemned to live as cadavers. So they take that journey. That journey, Steph, and I've got to tell you, the things that they witnessed, those that survived, are so horrible. And yet they say they feel honored to be able to ask for asylum.
They are running for their lives, Jose. What can you tell us about these rumors? We were just airing Tom Yamas's piece where he was talking about these rumors out there on social media, some videos that have been seen tens of millions of times, telling people with Title 42 over, there are no borders. Everybody come as you are, whenever you want. Are people seeing these videos? Are they believing them?
Yes, absolutely. And many times people want to believe what they want to believe because they're so desperate to have a life and to search for a better life. But, you know, Stephanie, the Rachel, who I spoke with last night, her husband is going to be deported. And they just found that out just moments before I spoke with them. And and she knew, she was very clear on Title 42 and Title 8 and what was going to happen and what was not going to happen. There is a lot of disinformation and misinformation, and that's carried out because the cartels are really in no small part actually dictating policy for a lot of things, including where the migrants are moving. You know, right here in the El Paso area, and we got a gentleman on that can tell us more about this than me, but there are 3 international bridges, right? There's a Paso del Norte, and to the east of that is the Americas Bridge, and then the Zaragoza Bridge all the way to the east. As the state has been putting barbed wire around the area there of the Paso del Norte going towards the Americas. So migrants are actually now being forced to come in out west more. And the cartel, the Juarez cartel that controls much of the traffic in Juarez, is now finding that just across the Zaragoza Bridge is the Sinaloa cartel, areas. So there may be some fighting going on there as the fluidity of migrants changes, because the cartels are deciding how, where, and how they bring people in. It's an incredible business for them. And so, of course, they're going to create misinformation and disinformation to their benefit financially. And you know what? In the final analysis, it's the exploitation of human beings, of men, women, and children who are desperate for a life. And to be able to give that little 1-year-old, 8-month girl that you saw there in the refugio, in the shelter, she was given a coloring book, and she had 4 colored pencils, and she was painting in a princess, and she kept saying, "Pinta, pinta." So come on, help me paint this picture of a fantasy, right? A princess in this blessed world that was on the page. And her mother and her grandmother told me, we're kind of living in that world that we see this as a fantasy. And we just hope that our daughter and our granddaughter, who are going to have the opportunity to request asylum, they can live in a world where their dreams could come true.
I know I'm going to run out of time, and I know my producers are screaming in my ear. Can I just ask you, Jose, what is this like for you personally, to cover this, to experience this?
The privilege of a lifetime. Because there, but for the grace of God, go I, and go all of us. And you know what? It's just the most basic definition of the best of humanity. People who are willing to do anything and everything so that their children could have a shot at a better life.
They traveled
talk
for
about the American dream.
And she knows her husband, who traveled with them, is already going to be sent home, condemned to a life as a cadaver. Tommy, tell us the situation right now in El Paso. You're obviously dealing with this, but you're also dealing with residents who live there, Americans who are trying to get on with their day-to-day lives and take care of their own families.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for having me on the show this evening. I'm honored to be here with all of you. I would tell you that we've been working through this issue since 2018. Late 2018. So we've got a lot of systems in place to really address a lot of these matters. Right now, we've stood up the Office of Emergency Management, which is a facilitation of information with all the different agencies that need to be aware from a communication standpoint, so that can flow into the operational piece. We've stood up a school, Bassett Middle School. We made an agreement with the El Paso Independent School District to use one of their vacant schools in order to be prepared. And so we've been working that from the very beginning. And of course, our mayor has been working closely with a lot of federal officials, calling them, and been very helpful with respect to making sure that we coordinate all our resources. And the council followed that up by approving the declaration for the state emergency that the mayor put in place. And so we've been doing this for quite some time, and it's been something El Paso's been dealing with for decades. But in the last 4 to 5 years, it's really had a serious uptick. And the numbers are really have grown over those same amount of years. And so what our main focus is to make sure we look at the needs of the migrants once they get processed. That's the key. They have to be processed. Right now, the CBP is holding over 6,000 immigrants right now, which is a bit higher than what they can hold. So they're going to have to start releasing them and start processing them. And when you hear that they're out on the streets, it's because they haven't been processed. And so they are, in quotations, undocumented officially by the federal government. So we have been urging that, as soon as they get processed, we can interject and play a role and support the housing initiative and any transportation that might be necessary. The county also has a welcome center. We have a welcome center at our facilities as well, because you have to process them and coordinate travel for them. And right now we're really focusing on coordinating their travel and making sure they have sponsors, family members that can pay for their travel to their final destination.
And how do the people of El Paso, Texas feel about that? Well, it's a priority to address the needs of the migrants. What about the Americans?
Yeah. Well, we're a very compassionate city, and the fact of the matter is it's a local problem because it's right on our doorstep, but it's a federal issue. And so we are working with state and federal officials in order to make sure we have the resources in place in order to move individuals. We had a meeting this morning with all the different officials from the local, state, and federal level, all the different agencies. We had the mayor there, we had the county judge there as well. And we were talking through these coordination pieces, because at the end of the day, we have to deal with the matter, and we have to do it in a very dignified manner and in a way that, again, is in concert with state and federal laws. And we've been doing that. I think we've been doing it in a very humane fashion. We've worked collectively as a community with all the different partners, and we've done it together. I really want to point to a lot of the different agencies that have partnered and collaborated with us to make this process more effective. Having been the son of migrants myself, my dad crossed when he was 4. My mom and dad, my mom was already here, but they were migrant workers. So I totally get the story that was shared earlier. So that's the reason why we've taken the approach that we simply want to be of assistance and, again, follow state and federal rules and laws, but also work to process them as fast as possible in order to make sure that, again, they get to their final destination.
Geoff, what is the White House's plan?
Well, I'll tell you, Steph, when Title 42 lifts later this hour, U.S. officials say they're expecting as many as 13,000 people a day to cross the border. That is more than double the number of people they encounter on a busy day. And so the White House says they've sent these 1,500 troops to the border to help with processing. They've set up systems whereby would-be migrants can apply for asylum online. They say they've set up these migrant centers where people can apply for asylum in country. But Steph, here's the deal. Those are, for the most part, long-term solutions. Those migrant centers that are supposed to be set up in Central America, as I sit here and speak to you, they're not operational. It could take months to set those up. And for people to apply in country, it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 years to get cleared to come to this country.